Looking at the Capital One Orange Bowl, the last bowl game before the college football playoff national championship game, Texas A&M going up against North Carolina. Texas A&M opening up a 7-point favorite against the Aggies, 8-1, second in the SEC West. Could argue, there are some that would argue that maybe the Aggies deserve the 4 shot in the playoffs, in the college football playoffs over Ohio State, with their only loss coming to Alabama, and they did beat Florida. North Carolina 8-3, coming in fourth in the ACC. The win um, in the regular season finale over Miami is kind of what put them over the hump and earned them a spot in this Orange Bowl. They come in 8-3. I think the story of this game really comes down to the key players, and I think that's going to really what's going to be what's going to determine this game. Because first of all, let's discuss A&M, because I think it's pretty straightforward, right? If all the pieces come into play, and of course we're talking about a game played on January 2nd, so we do have some time between this video and then to see if some players opt out. But Kellen Mond comes in. He's going to lead the charge at quarterback for the Aggies. 19 passing touchdowns, over 2,000 passing yards, 250 yards rushing, 3 TDs. At running back, you've got Isaiah Spiller for Texas A&M. He'll probably go over 1,000 yards with this game, 7 touchdowns on the year. He's cut 16 passes out of the backfield. Anis Smith coming in with 49 attempts and 293 yards rushing, 4 touchdowns. He's cut 37 passes out of the backfield for 439 yards and 6 touchdowns. And then Devin Akane as well added 224 yards. He's got 3 touchdowns on the year. So you've got 3 guys that can the Aggies can run in and out of the lineup in the backfield, primarily leaning on Isaiah Spiller as a runner. Jalen Weidemeyer, the tight end, 45 receptions for 502 yards and 6 TDs. He's their leading receiver, big target, can split him out wide, line him up at tight end. He'll be Mond's go-to receiver in this matchup. And then really Hezekiah Jones, 16 receptions for 145 yards. Chase Lane's caught 28 passes this year for 382 yards and 2 touchdowns. For me, Texas A&M, all the pieces coming into play in this matchup. They're averaging 31 points a game, 200 on the ground, 234 through the air, a well-balanced attack. Defensively for North Carolina, how does that match up? Well, they're allowing 147 yards on the ground, 248 in the air. North Carolina has given up a ton of points this year at times. They've given up, I think, 53 points to Wake Forest. They gave up 26 in that regular season finale to Miami. It's been hit or miss. They gave up 31 to Florida State this year in a loss. They gave up 45 to Virginia Tech in a win. So really, this matchup could determine which North Carolina defense actually shows up against the Aggies. Because let me tell you something, North Carolina is going to be offensively challenged, or at least maybe not offensively challenged, but offensively inexperienced. They're going to come in with Sam Howell at quarterback, over 3,300 passing yards, 27 passing TDs. He's got 5 rushing TDs. More than likely, he'll account for 30 touchdowns this year after this matchup against Texas A&M. At the running back spot, though, I actually re-recorded this video because not only did Michael Carter opt out, and not only did wide receiver De'Ami Brown opt out, but then Javonte Williams opted out as well. So now we're looking at possibly Josh Henderson and Elijah Green, make no mistakes about it, no pun intended, but 2 greenbacks coming in here. Henderson's only got 12 attempts all year for 46 yards. Elijah Green, one of those guys only has 12 attempts all year for 46 yards. I don't even think Elijah Green has that many, but those guys now will be thrust into, one of them will be thrust into the starting role. And my guess is they'll complement one another in this matchup. Coaches will probably figure out who's got the hot hand, but I expect Henderson maybe to get a few more touches than Green. But I expect, remember, the way that we saw Carter and Javonte Williams rotated throughout the year, it's not going to surprise me to see these guys both used, frequently throughout the game. For me, that leaves Daz Newsome as Sam Howell's go-to target. He would be the one guy other than Sam Howell that I would want in this matchup because he's got 48 receptions, 616 yards, 5 touchdowns. He is going to be Sam Howell's go-to target, the most reliable target that he has in this game. When you look at the other options in that North Carolina passing game, Caffrey Brown, Garrett Walston, the tight end. Brown's caught 13 passes, 297 yards, 2 TDs. He's a big play waiting to happen. Maybe he fills in for that Dyami role and takes a little bit more of the top, tries to take the top off of the Texas A&M defense, becoming more of a vertical threat. Garrett Walston, 15 receptions, 223 yards, 2 touchdowns. Maybe him and Daz Newsome complement one another in the red zone. You've also got Emory Simmons, 15 catches for 200 yards and a TD. You got Antoine Green that could see some playing time. He's got 3 receptions, 37 yards and a touchdown, but he might see an increased playing time. So in the bold guide, we listed a few names. Look, had we done this for the regular season, you'd be looking at Howell, Javonte Williams, Michael Carter, Dyami Brown, Daz Newsome, but now Williams, Carter, Brown, no longer there. So we got to go down a little bit. It's going to be a little bit more of a risky, it's going to be more of a chance to take a gamble on the North Carolina players in this matchup, but there could be some upside to that as well, because we could have, a dark horse emerge as far as, maybe being a DFS play. The challenge for the North Carolina offense that's averaging 43 points, 250 running, 300 passing, is that they're facing a Texas A&M defense that's only averaging 21 points a game. They're not even allowing 92 yards per game. They're barely allowing 92 yards per game on the ground. They're giving up 224 yards in the air. I think North Carolina, now that Carter and Williams are both out, they're going to have to put the ball in the hands of Sam Howell. I can see him chucking this one around quite a bit. It'll be interesting to see how much they lean on Henderson and Elijah Green, if in fact those two guys are going to be used primarily in the backfield, because the strength of the A&M defense is the run. And so I think Howell is going to have to be able to make some plays in the passing game to keep up with Texas A&M, who I do think will be able to score a ton of points in this game on North Carolina. And like I said, it really depends on what North Carolina defense is going to show up. But when I look at this matchup, and I don't doubt the coaching staff and Mack Brown at North Carolina, but when you see like guys Javonte Williams, Michael Carter, and Dyami Brown opt out, you just wonder where the incentive is for the other guys. Sure, there's going to be some younger guys that are going to want to step up and make plays, but they're going up against a Texas A&M team who probably feels like they have something to prove for getting snubbed out of the college football playoff, or I wouldn't necessarily say getting snubbed, but for just not being included. They're probably going to want to make a statement in this game. They're coming in, it looks like the barrels are loaded, whereas North Carolina, they're coming in a little bit with the cupboard bare. For me, this is a no-brainer for me. I'm going Texas A&M. I'm giving up the 7 points to North Carolina, and I'm even picking this game to go. Oh, actually, you know what? I'm sorry. I'm picking this game to go under the total, because I think North Carolina at times may struggle to get points on the board. I think 69-70 is a lot in this matchup, considering that we don't know all the pieces for North Carolina. So I'm going -7 for Texas A&M. I'm picking them to win, -7, and to go under the total of 69.